And week one of early voting in Arkansas is almost complete with, like we said, a higher turnout so far than in the last midterm election. One of the factors this time, the confirmation hearings to make Judge Brett Kavanaugh a U.S. Supreme Court Justice. KARK4's Jessi Turnure joins us in studio with the impact.
Yeah, Mallory, a lot of Arkansans are watching those hearings and kind of the aftermath of Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and it's really, from what we've been hearing, impacting some state and local races. So I wanted to bring in NBC's Meet the Press, Todd. Chuck, you've been traveling really all over the country recently. What have you been hearing in terms of how Justice Kavanaugh and everything that happened has been impacting elections in the state?
Well, what's interesting is, I would say, it was over a 2-week period. I would say last week, the Kavanaugh was much more top of mind. You felt this week, and this was in Nevada and Arizona in the first week, you could feel it. You talked to Democrats in both races, and they would sit there and say Kavanaugh was a problem. You talked to Republicans in those races, and they would say Kavanaugh really fired us up. And you could feel it on the ground. You saw it. You could feel the intensity sort of even itself out a little bit. In Florida and Texas, the Kavanaugh just didn't bubble up as much. A little more on the caravan on the right. You would hear about a lot more about health care on the left. And then, of course, now we have this pipe bomb scenario here that I think just only adds to the voter stew, the stew of issues that voters are going to have top of mind as they walk into that ballot box.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think it's encouraging voter turnout, too. We've already seen pretty high numbers here for Arkansas. But, yeah, I wanted to talk to you, just since you brought it up about the pipe bomb issue. We talked with Senator Tom Cotton about it yesterday. I mean, isn't it fair to say that it's kind of indicative of just the political culture that we're in now? I mean, you don't want to go that far. Things like this have happened before, but still.
It is one of those things that does feel as if it's not a surprise, right? We're shocked when people do this, but are we really that surprised, given that history shows there's always moments like this where sort of unstable people can be easily radicalized? You know, we had this situation, frankly, that ISIS preyed upon unstable people in this country and sometimes radicalized them. And in this way, look, unstable people, whether they're unstable liberals or unstable conservatives, like unstable people are unstable, right? And they can maybe more easily get manipulated by propaganda, by what is supposed to be maybe the person saying it thinks they're being nuanced or hyperbolic on purpose or ironic, and that they notice it. But unstable people don't always notice it and don't always feel it. They take everything very literally. And I think that's something that I think the conversation that everybody in sort of political life needs to have. The commentators that have radio shows and primetime media shows, particularly on the right, but also the elected leaders at some point. And the president himself needs to figure out how to tamp this down and sort of, if you don't believe you're responsible for this, at least explain why your rhetoric is different than the rhetoric that radicalized some others.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know that you and I were talking that we both don't like giving predictions, so I won't make you do that. But we were talking a little bit ago just in the newsroom that, you know, we're, of course, like a very poll-heavy business. We like talking about the polls and what they're, you know, showing. But do you think that around the country that Arkansas is kind of no exception, that with this kind of high turnout, a lot of the stuff we could be talking about could be for nothing?
Here's the thing. You telling me that there's higher turnout, you're already seeing evidence of higher turnout in Arkansas, and you don't really have a major statewide race driving it, but you do have that one congressional race in particular that's driving it. Yeah. This is what our national polls saw too, and this is what we are on pace perhaps to have the highest midterm turnout by sort of percentage-wise in over 100 years, basically since before women fully got the right to vote, if you want to put it in those terms. That's how long ago.
That's right.
And when you have a high turnout election that you've never had before, and I've seen it sporadically hit in states, weird things happen, weird results. So you're going to see a lot of erratic polling over the next 10 days. You're going to be like, whoa, one poll says this, because people don't know what the electorate's going to look like. And when you have a high turnout, you're going to blow through all your presumptions. So that's the pause that I would give everybody that's watching here, is that it's high turnout mean crazy results.
All right. Well, hey, perfect place to end. Chuck, thank you so much for breaking this down for us. And, of course, you can catch Chuck Todd right after my show, Capitol View, this Sunday. It starts at 8:30, and then, yeah, Chuck is after at 9 o'clock right here on KARK. Back to you.